Hello and welcome to the Bike Show. This week we're at Rad Motorcycles here at the end of Rivonia, and later on in the show we'll be speaking to the dealer principal about exactly what's going on at this massive dealership. We'll also be talking to a young South African man who's setting the world alight on a KTM. But first, we want to tell you a story of hardship and endurance.
Yes, hardship and endurance. Obviously, Matt is talking about our endurance racing season, which has just concluded with the 12-hour. And you might remember that it's actually all my fault that everyone's been doing this from the bike show, because the idea was to get me racing. Now, I am actually now a racing rider, I suppose.
It is all your fault. In fact, especially on Sunday morning after the race.
Were you a bit stiff, lad?
Yeah, well, let's just say I watched the MotoGP in the morning in my bed. Then I thought, right, need to go to the bathroom. Got out of bed and thought, bring me a bedpan. And sat back down again.
That's a horrible image to give the viewers.
It is quite hard work though, isn't it? Riding over 12 hours. That was 3 hours of riding each. We put a lot of effort in, but you'll be surprised how much effort goes into the championship behind the scenes. Chris, can you believe it? It's now at the end of 2 years, so you've had two full seasons of your championship. Are you glad you started, or do you wish you'd never bothered? It's a lot of work. I see you at all the race meetings and you never stop.
I know the effort's really been worth it. The attendance this year, both from the industry, competitors, has been amazing. So yeah, it's really worth it in the end.
The grids aren't massive yet, are they? But they are growing gradually. We're sort of getting the hardcore of teams, including people like ourselves at the bike show, coming along. But
no, the effort, the people involved, you know, from our sponsors, Suzuki, a lot of industry. So we've had partners, Motul, Metzler, ITR, SBS, Rental, the list goes on. But the competitors, people from all walks of life. So, you know, different colours, different creeds, different backgrounds. It's just amazing.
I think what you did later in this year, Chris, and for this last 12 hours specifically, is that you opened it up to a kind of relay race that you did in partnership with Superbike magazine.
That's
That's a good idea, I think.
Yeah, again, well, media partners yourselves, you've been amazing pulling in and supporting the championship and the effort you've made to get there and race. We've got Superbike magazine, we've had Ride Fast and Bike SA involved as well. But yeah, Superbike mag pulled in a relay kind of race format where you can race your own bike. So again, appealing to a different kind of demographic than maybe the championship demographic.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the series, isn't it? It's from amateurs to professionals.
Yeah, and it's worked again. We've got a scaled point system, so we've got a pro, a rookie, a club class in our championship. But again, in the top 3 at the end of the year, we've got a pro team, we've got a rookie team and a club team.
What sort of plans and dreams have you got going forward?
Well, we've got a lot of plans. Yeah, can't really tell you all of them at the moment. At the moment, we're just trying to make up our mind the best way to go forward to keep our championship. We're about racing, so we want to keep the kind of the race element, keep the professional element, and give something for people to aspire to. But we also want to bring people in. We want to make sure that the guys who want to go racing that they can come and join that kind of atmosphere, that they can see how professional teams work. And they can, make their own way forward, see how they can make it work.
I think it's worth pointing out you can keep up to date with what's going on your website.
That's right.
And also on the bike show, we'll be keeping you up to date. The format will change a little bit for next year, but I have to tell you, take the plunge. Maybe we'll see you out there in 2016.
So there you have it. Odin Powersports are committed for next year, but they're not the only ones. Have a look at this. Stu, thanks for joining us. Series sponsor. Has it worked for Suzuki?
I think it's worked for Suzuki. We are World Endurance Champions again this year, so it falls within the vein of what we're getting up to in the world. And I think it's been good fun, and it's the 12-hour we managed to get the dealer team up and running, which has been really good for the team and for the dealers to get together and have some fun. Yeah, I think it's worked. We're going to push and get some more grid numbers for next year. I think it's been a good season. Yeah.
That's where I wanted to go next. You are involved next year?
We are involved next year.
You've committed to that?
Yeah, I've got to figure out how to go about it yet. Clearly the boss hasn't yet, but we're in, yeah, for sure.
So the boss doesn't know, but you're in?
He'll get it.
That's good news. Now, obviously, we were on our brand new GSX S1000, lovely thing. But it doesn't mean to say that our old faithful GSR was put to one side and put out to pasture, was it?
No, definitely not. We've started an invitation dealer team, so we literally invited all the dealers from around the country to come along and race. We got them as far as from Richards Bay, Bloemfontein came up to visit. We hope going forward we're going to be able to put together even more of them. It's really nice to take them out of the retail environment and get them into a bit more of a social environment where they can talk nonsense about motorbikes and get the passion and the love going from the game, rather than just worrying about how many they're going to sell.
Excellent to see that Suzuki are so heavily involved with this championship, and their involvement extends to something that you're running.
The 24-hour endurance and relay race. Suzuki are entering both bikes. I believe we're riding that 1,000 again.
So have we committed to ride the 24 hour? That
looks
seems
like
to have
it.
happened.
Listen, it's on television now, it's happening, okay?
Apparently we're doing it.
But Suzuki's also entering that GSR 750 in a dealer team. So going to get a bunch of dealers together to come race the 24-hour.
And they're involved, obviously, in sponsoring the 24
and they're
hours.
sponsoring the event. They're the safety sponsor. For people who don't know what that means they're sponsoring all marshals, safety cars, medics, officials, anything that keeps us safe. They're sponsoring.
That's pretty impressive. But now, just to return to our 750, I did love that bike.
Yeah.
But you were particularly, not scathing, but it didn't allow you to fight with our nearest rival.
It was a lovely, sweet handling package, wasn't it? But there just weren't enough guts in the thing. So that, I mean, look, our greatest rivals were four-ways flyers with their Kawasaki Z1000. Going the same route as us, a kind of naked sports bike.
But I mean, when we got our 1000, then it forced you to throw down the gauntlet to its four-ways flyers, didn't it? Just have a look at this.
We've always had our arch nemesis, the four-ways flyers. And for the 4-hour and the 8-hour, they beat us. But in the 12-hour, Rian...
Yeah, you beat them. No, you did.
Okay, not everything went your way. There were a few dramas and things during that race.
Yes, we lost our lights, unfortunately. As it got dark, we lost both our lights and we had a bit of an issue. So we lost about 10 minutes.
And these aren't actually Kawasaki lights.
No, they're not. Please note, they're not Kawasaki lights. And we lost the lights, so that limited us a little bit. And there was one or two other little issues. Nothing mechanical, purely just the lights and one of our riders was a little bit off in the day. So
I was going to say the team. I mean, you're not all pro racers.
I'm the only guy, me and Rupert is the only two guys that have actually raced in regional races. The other guys are all pure novices.
But this is the great thing about endurance and this type of racing, is that it's not necessarily about how fast you could be. There's a lot more to it.
Well, exactly that, Donovan, exactly that. You know, if you look at all our lap times, nobody does better than a 210 or a 211. By all means, it's very slow around Red Star. Yet, last year we won the club class. This year we were third in overall in pro. So it shows you
And
consistency.
it's third in pro against like HB4s and all these fancy pro riders.
And some other pro riders and so forth. But yes, it's all about consistency and having the right setup, having the bike right prepared, that type of thing. We spend a lot of time on preparation.
I was going to say, okay, this bike is what you've been racing for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people say to me when we do a 12-hour, more so the 24-hour, they say, "Oh, after that, your bike must be stuffed." How much has gone into this? I mean, have you had to rebuild the motor or anything?
Motor came out once to undercut the gearbox, purely just to prevent anything from happening, put it back. We haven't had one mechanical failure on this bike, otherwise than falling off the bike, nothing else. So people say that's wrong. If you prepare it right, you look after the bike, you do the oil changes like we've done, the bike should look after you.
So just in case you didn't understand, yes, we did beat the four-ways flyers, but it does seem like battle is going to be rejoined in the 24-hour race. But Donovan, when is that?
For once, I actually know this date. I learned it last night. 5th and 6th of December.
And if anyone wants to enter or find any further information, where do they go?
They go to www.bikesa.net.
Simple as that. We'll be back after the ad break.